Welcome to Socrates Beyond Time, a place where I share stories inspired by the thought-provoking spirit of the ancient Greek philosopher Socrates through slow, deep, and contemplative dialogues. In the series Socrates and the Masters of Persuasion, Socrates journeys across time to meet influential figures throughout history, engaging them in conversations that explore the true nature of persuasion, not merely as a technique, but as a way human beings connect with one another. Though these encounters are fictional, the spirit of Socrates and the insights revealed in each dialogue carry a timeless value, inviting us to reflect on how we think, speak, and influence others. If you'd like to explore this journey more deeply, you're warmly invited to visit socratesbeyondtime.blogspot.com, where these reflections continue, quietly yet meaningfully. There are encounters that do not happen to argue, but to quiet things down. In this crossing beyond the boundary of time, Socrates does not find an opponent to challenge, but a still mirror named Lao Tzu, where every question seems to dissolve before it can even take form. One believes that truth is revealed through dialogue. One lives as if truth does not need to be spoken. Between them, there is no confrontation, only silences deep enough to uncover a more delicate question. Must influencing others begin with trying to change them? Ancient China, around the 6th century BCE. Dynasties weakened one after another. War had not yet erupted everywhere, but hearts were already weary of rivalry. Everyone wanted to fix the world. Everyone believed they knew how to restore order. When society becomes unstable, the instinct is to act more, enact new laws, increase control, add more rules. People believe the stronger the intervention, the faster the result. Yet in that era, one man chose the opposite path. He proposed no new system, drew no map of power, called for no reform. He spoke of the Tao, that which had been flowing long before humans thought they needed to manage it. He observed water flowing, observed trees growing, observed how things complete themselves without force. To him, chaos does not arise from too little control. It arises from too many wills trying to control. When a ruler acts excessively, the people become cunning to adapt. When laws accumulate, people learn how to circumvent them. The deeper the interference, the more tangled the natural order becomes. Thus, he spoke of Wu Wei, not doing nothing, but not acting against the natural course. The best ruler is one whose presence the people barely feel. The best teacher is one whose students do not realize they are being taught. The deepest influence is the one that does not try to influence. No slogans, no movements, only words as brief as mountain crevices. The fewer they are, the deeper they go. Socrates walks along a narrow dirt path, accustomed to dismantling arguments with questions. But before an old man who simply sits watching the clouds drift by, all his strategies of debate seem unnecessary. He does not hear a doctrine, he sees a presence without coercion, and he wonders if the strongest action is the one that does not force, if the most enduring influence is the one that allows things to complete themselves, then perhaps the most subtle power does not lie in changing others, but in ceasing to interfere with their flow. I have heard that people come to you to learn how to do nothing at all. The old man does not turn his head. He only smiles faintly.
If they truly learned doing nothing, perhaps they would not need to come to me.
Socrates sits down, placing his staff beside him.
Where I come from, people believe that to influence others, one must speak eloquently, reason sharply, and persuade until the other nods in agreement. But they say you have influenced thousands of years of thought without persuading anyone.
Lao Tzu looks at Socrates, his eyes gentle yet deep.
I have never wished to influence. I simply live in accordance with the Tao. Whether others see it or not, that is not my concern.
Socrates tilts his head.
But if you do not try to change anyone, how does the world change?
Lao Tzu picks up a fallen leaf at his feet and places it in Socrates' palm.
Does this leaf try to make autumn arrive?
Socrates falls silent. A pause passes. The wind lightly stirs the branches.
In my Athens, the finest merchant is the one who can stir desire, who can make others feel a lack and then offer something to fill it. If you stood in that marketplace, what would you sell?
Lao Tzu smiles.
I would stand still. And if someone asked, I would say, you are already enough. A man who tells customers they are already enough does not sound like a merchant. That is because I do not sell. And if people still come, perhaps they are seeking something that cannot be bought.
Socrates nods slowly.
In my time, people believe influence is action. The more effort, the more result. Yet you speak of wu wei, non-action. Are you not afraid of being misunderstood as passive?
Lao Tzu gazes at the small stream flowing along the mountainside.
Do you see how water does not force the stone, yet the stone still wears away? Wu wei is not doing nothing. It is not acting against the nature of things.
Socrates reflects.
Then, in selling or in any form of persuasion, is there a place for wu wei?
Lao Tzu turns to him, his eyes now more intent.
When you try to persuade, you speak more than you listen. When you try to lead, you have already moved away from the one before you. The one who truly influences is the one who allows others to see for themselves.
Socrates remains silent for a long while. In Athens, he is accustomed to guiding through questions. But before Lao Tzu, even questions seem excessive.
Then how does one distinguish between wu wei and avoiding responsibility?
Lao Tzu nods.
You have touched the most important point. Wu wei does not arise from fear. It arises from deep understanding. Those who do not understand must control. Those who do not trust must force. Those who truly understand know when to step back.
A sudden smile appears on Socrates' face.
That sounds like my philosophy. I do not teach, I only ask, and it is the question that gives birth to the answer within another.
Lao Tzu looks at him for a long moment, then speaks softly.
Then perhaps you too have been practicing wu wei without naming it.
The sun begins to sink behind the mountains. Pale golden light stretches across the dirt path.
If you were to speak to the merchants of the future, those who live in a noisy age where everything competes for attention, what would you say?
Lao Tzu rises, gently brushing the dust from his robe.
I would tell them 3 things. Do not speak when it is unnecessary. Do not push before you understand. And do not rush to fill the emptiness, for it is within emptiness that people find themselves.
Socrates bows his head slightly.
Perhaps this is the shortest dialogue I have ever had, and also the one with the fewest words.
Lao Tzu smiles.
Few words, many meanings. Deep water, quiet waves.
When Socrates leaves the mountain path, night has fully fallen. He sees the moonlight reflected on the stream, impossible to grasp, impossible to possess, yet enough to light the way. Suddenly, he understands. The deepest influence does not come from making others want what we have, but from helping them realize they already carry what they seek. In a world that will grow ever noisier, where selling, persuading, and influencing become survival skills, Lao Tzu stands like a quiet reminder. Sometimes the highest form of selling is not selling. The strongest persuasion is not forcing. And the deepest leadership is walking so slowly that others believe they are walking on their own. Socrates' journey into the art of persuasion has only just begun, and the first lesson is knowing when to remain silent.